Hello. We're going to try something new today. I've been guided to... Ooh, thunder. I've been guided to try to rest. In my what's it called? See, I can barely talk. It's almost 3, and well, I've been having trouble with eating and sleeping, but I've been really good at taking my meds, taking a shower once or maybe even twice a day, not just for like hygiene purposes, in terms of my body, but it's a part of my spiritual hygiene, my like cleansing ritual. I kind of do one. It depends on how I'm feeling, you know what I mean? Like, if I wake up anxious, like really uncomfortable, I'll hop right in the shower. And it helps to have a shower chair. I really need it because of fatigue. I'll get lightheaded from, I'm assuming from the heat of the water. It makes me dehydrated because I'm more susceptible to dehydration because I'm on antidepressants. Anyway, so yeah, I've been really good at cleaning, like all of my common areas, like the bathroom and the kitchen, are clean, are functional. My room, on the other hand, is disgusting, and disgusting to my standards. Okay, it's livable. And it's not actually disgusting, it's just annoying. And these days, since I'm not, not getting all the nutrients that I need, even though I take supplements and things like this, it limits my capacity to get things done in a given day, and there's only 24 hours in a day. So right now I'm focusing on like actually resting, because I'm trying to remember the last time I actually felt genuinely rested or like relaxed. Because I'm having trouble even like pinpointing what that even looks like for me, and like what I've done in the past to cultivate that space for me. And ooh, I just saw lightning. That, ooh, confirmation. And I guess what led me to this topic was because this morning I found myself trying to, what was I trying to do? I don't know, I was picking at one of my nails, one of my ingrown nails. And so then I was like, why am I actively hurting and harming my body? Ooh, another lightning. When I know that it's bad for me and I don't necessarily want to do it, and yet here I am doing it, right? So I kind of had to stop myself I was like, I don't need to understand the why right now. I can figure that out later with a therapist. Right now, I need to stop picking at my nail and put some food in my body, or else I'm going to faint. So this is kind of like what goes on in my head. I'm still trying to figure out, because like I said, I don't really experience, or I guess I've mentioned this in a previous post, I don't remember the names. I think it's like clairvoyance. What is it? So I don't experience visions where I see things unless I'm dreaming, unless I'm asleep. Because when you're sleeping, that's the most vulnerable, or like that's like the closest access you have to the spirit realm, is when you're sleeping. So, and I don't hear voices. I have, what is the other ones? Oh, I experience feelings, so other energies. And so I'm able to kind of like pick up on, well, I know I can pick up on energy. Okay, so that's one thing. And then the other thing is I can pick up on feelings. Okay. So these things, right, they don't have a visual component to it, and they don't have a hearing component to it. It's very sensory. Right? It's kind of like, what is that word? Well, it's a type of intuition. But I feel like these types of abilities, you kind of have to lean into your intuition in a way that's more, how do I say this? Like, for example, if you're laying in bed, you've got like a comforter or a top sheet or whatever. So I would describe laying on top of a bed, like on top of the covers. So you're still on the bed, but you're on top of the covers, as like the people who get visions and people who can hear things. And I'm not saying this in a way that's like, oh, I'm better than you. No, what I'm saying is it's a little bit harder to tap into, because we're so used to seeing things through our eyes and hearing things through our ears to process information. So when I'm when I'm tapping into my intuitive abilities of whatever, I can't remember what they're called, I'll figure them out later, but the intuitive feeling and the intuitive knowing, is that what I said before? I experience energy and I experience feeling. No, I think it's not energy, I think it's knowing. Yeah, it's knowing. So I experience knowing things without, it's weird, I'll get a download of something, and it's usually not something random, it's usually something pertaining to my life, like relevant to what's going on in my life. Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I'll get these random downloads, and from either the divine or, you know, my past lives or life or my ancestors. I'll be like receiving intuitive messages, and they usually come in when I'm not gonna say necessarily not trying to tap in, but like I'm also like, I don't know, I feel like I get the best downloads when I'm like tapped in to the 5D, but still rooted in 3D reality on Earth. Interesting. Regardless, I'll get these downloads and I'll be like, how do I know that? I've never had any interest about this topic before, or I've never had a class about this subject, or I've never read anything. So then I'll start to like question myself, right? I'll be like, am I making this up in my head from my imagination? Or is this like an actual memory? Or is this the future? Like, I'll be getting all of these messages. I don't know how else to describe it, because like I had previously said in a different post, language is very limiting. Even visual language. Like, I am a painter. Anyway, so yeah, I'll just get like these intuitive downloads when I'm like, you know, it's usually the most helpful when I'm like trying to make a decision. But if I'm just like, you know, going about my day, not really paying attention to the 5D space, and I'm kind of like locked in or like laser focused on whatever task I'm doing, I have a tendency to crash out. So yeah, I need to like figure out a way to, I'd love a mentor, honestly. I kind of need to hone in on being able to tap in while staying grounded. So I'm going to order some copper bangles, like copper chains, to put around my ankles. Because one of the tarot readers that I am subscribed to, she said that copper helps you stay grounded, especially if you put them around your ankles, because it's like, you know, root chakra. Copper, I guess, is because it's, I actually can't remember what she said, but I think it's because it's a, what is it? It's like an element, it's a metal that comes from the earth, right? It's supposed to help. So I'm gonna order some of those. The earrings are really cute, but I can't really wear heavy earrings because my earlobes are tiny. So I'm gonna get the ankle bangles, chains or whatever. So that way, yeah, I want to be able to tap in at will, because right now it seems like I don't know how to shut it off. Like it's like, it's literally, I feel like I opened a well and I don't know, it just like it just burst because of all the pressure, right? I feel like all of these abilities and like all of the like intellectualizing and therapy and just researching and shit has led to this point. So now, and I know that I experience these downloads constantly. Obviously I need to function as a human being, because how else am I supposed to fulfill my divine plan if I can't even get out of bed? You know what I mean? So rest has been the main obstacle, which is crazy. It's so funny to me. I love a paradox. I think one of my favorite words in like 7th grade grammar was onomatopoeia. Not only because it sounds awesome, onomatopoeia, and it feels really cool to say, onomatopoeia. But I think it means, what does it even mean? It's like a play, onomatopoeia. I think that's basically it, right? It's a word that sounds fun to say. Or like the spelling and the pronunciation correlates to the word meaning as if it's a pun, right? We'll see that. We'll see that. Play with that thought later. Clearly I never get bored, but whenever I do get bored, it's honestly torture. Which is why I struggle so much with resting. Okay. And I guess that's why I was picking my nails. It's like that phrase, staying sick, right, is repeating the same old patterns, expecting different results, right? Is that what it is? So I'm not gonna like dig deep into why I was doing it, but because that's a whole other can of worms. But I guess the reason why I struggle a lot with rest, which of course is important, or else I cannot literally do anything, is because I am a control freak. And I guess in my brain, I was conditioned to think that rest equals not having control, or maybe my fear around losing control is losing stability. Oh, fuck. I want to touch back to the intuitive abilities. Also, whenever I watch these back, I notice that my eyes go like they're like a pinball machine. They go here to there. And it like doesn't hurt my eyeballs, and I don't even notice that I'm doing it, but I think it helps me dig. So yeah, I have a hard time deciphering if a feeling, like an intuitive download, or like an intuitive knowing, an inner knowing, or a feeling that I'm picking up. I don't know, because since there's no visual element to it and there's no sound element, I don't know what are my thoughts and feelings and, knowledge and shit. And then I don't know if it's coming from like another source. So I don't know if it's like my dad talk. Actually, you know what? I feel like I have a really good understanding of when my dad is communicating with me, just because I have a lot of practice, because he's my primary spirit guide. And even if I like am not, like, even if I like forget to talk to him one day, I subconsciously do it. It's kind of, I guess it's like a, I don't know if it's like a trauma response. But it's like a protective measure. So I guess that stems back to that stability thing. Wanting to have stability. Because if I feel like I have more stability, I have a little bit more control over my life. And I don't really want to control anybody, or I'm not looking to be like this ultra powerful, super knowledgeable, you know, all-knowing shit, you know what I mean? I'm not looking for, see, I'm even having trouble describing what I'm not looking for, because I'm not looking for those things that other people are looking for. I guess, like, power and greed and money and... Anyway, what I'm trying to get at, my ulterior motive, I guess, if you want to put it in those words, but before I was like operating in a way where I didn't give a shit, where I was avoidant, and I would acknowledge some things, but then, you know, I wouldn't know how to dive deeper. I feel like if you're someone like me who operates more on like their logical mind to help self-soothe, because I think in DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, there's wise mind and there's logic mind and emotional mind. I can't remember which is which, like left or right side. But when you overlap them, the wise mind is kind of like this equal balance of logic and emotion. So I kind of will operate in the logical mind to a point where it's distressing. So this is not how I wanted this video to go, but here we are. It's so funny. I originally wanted to record a video on my issues around like picking my fingernails, but I already posted something about that, so I would just be repeating the same thing over again. Then I was like, maybe I should tap in on like bittersweetness, kind of like that paradox feeling that I was describing earlier, where I don't know, I kind of had this thought recently. I guess it correlates to this topic of rest. I was like, what is true peace, or like, you know, what's like, sorry, I keep burping. What is the closest feeling that we can have to peace? What would that look like? And so the conclusion, or like the working theory I want to say, is when I practice radical acceptance, I can see things or a situation more objectively. Logic mind. Okay, so then what do I do next? Oh, I got distracted. See? Too many things going on. Oh, peace. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I guess, like, I don't don't know if this is true, but we're going to just play with the idea that peace is kind of like this bittersweet sensation where it's not necessarily disassociation. It is like a form of detachment. And I'm also kind of like exploring apathy and where that comes from. But yeah, the art of like radical acceptance and like the art of detachment, like spiritual detachment, emotional detachment, it doesn't have to be a toxic skill. And for me, when I think about peace and trying to cultivate a state of balance, I think about peace and how if I were to look at a situation objectively, I not only see the benefit or like the beauty or the power of let's say, for example, a like rotten situation, a painful situation, an abusive situation, toxic, you name it, and you start to wonder, why is this happening? Is this for our greatest good, our ultimate highest self? Like, now that I know what my purpose is and I'm not lost or looking for that answer anymore, I don't know, but I guess back to peace. Yeah, so peace for me is, why is it so hard for me to get to the fucking point? This is why I need those copper bracelets. I need to like focus on something. Look at the mountains. So yeah, peace for me, or yeah, okay, so radical acceptance, art of detachment. So there's this like almost like this like layer, right? Like you're at the aquarium, or right now I'm looking through my windshield of my car. I can see the mountains, and like at the aquarium you can see the water and the fish and the ecosystems and stuff, but there's a clear shell, armor. I'm gonna call it armor. So the art of for me, radical acceptance and the art of detachment is a form of armor when used in like small doses, or like used intentionally, strategically. So yes, finding this state of peace, which might help me relax, because that's the whole point of this video, is seeing, yes, wow, what a beautiful, horrible thing that's happening right now. You know what I mean? Not just like, wow, this horrible thing is happening because I'm a failure, because I never do anything right. I guess it's like a victim mentality. Like lack of accountability. Obviously, not everything is in our control, right? There's the bubble of control, right? What we can control is inside, and then what we can't control, like the weather and the time and whatever, is on the outside of the bubble. Pretty sure I shared it on Instagram, but anyway. So yeah, I'm a control freak that doesn't know how to rest, because I have unresolved issues when it comes to, I guess, trust. Oh yeah, I was showering this morning and I was like, what do I need to do? I need to lean more into trust. Trusting, just trust, you know, the divine, trusting myself, trusting in the divine plan, and that things are gonna work out for me. I think I saw like a post that was like, what if a white Corvette? That's hilarious. Thanks, Dad. My dad had a white Corvette. Anyway, before I run out of storage on my phone, I don't know. Oh yeah, in the shower. I was like, I need to lean into trust. Right, okay. So I want to let go of control. A phrase that I want to get tattooed soon is let go. This is actually something that came up for me a couple years ago, but I can talk about that at another time. So yeah, letting go of control by leaning into trust. And then I think another thing that will help me is having self-discipline, because, for example, when it came to my ingrown fingernails, I had to practice surrendering control and self-discipline. So in my moment of, it's like weird, I don't know if this is like just a mental health thing in general, or if this is like specifically a OCD thing or what. But when I'm in this like state of mind where I'm desperately clinging as tight as I can to control whatever it is that I'm doing. For example, I wanted to get the ingrown fingernail out of my pinky this morning. A couple hours go by and I'm like, what? Why am I doing this? It doesn't make any kind of sense. And when things don't make sense to me, because I'm such a logical thinker, it makes me so mad. It just makes me so irritated. Just because I want to like maintain that control because of my fear of instability. If I don't get this fucking ingrown fingernail, I'm gonna be fine, but in my brain I'm like, if I don't get it out of my nail now, it's gonna get worse, and then I'm gonna die. So I guess the sense of control and the desire for stability. Where was I going with this? Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, okay. Wow. It's like something overcomes me. Okay? I have no control. It's like I'm desperately clinging to control, and yet the more I cling to control, the less control I feel. So I reach a breaking point, my crash out, my burnout, whatever you want to call it, and I get to a point where I'm like fed up and just exhausted, like I'm physically tired. That at that point is when I'm like, okay, you win. And what I mean by that is, you win, God. What do you want me to do? And I think that's the most important lesson. And I think I wanted to just like close with this analogy. I am a classically trained fine arts oil painter since the age of 13. And one thing that I really liked learning was, and what actually made me fall in love with painting more, was this. Well, first of all, painting is very freeing and relaxing and cathartic. It's very soothing and it helps me slow down. And lately, whenever I've been trying or struggling with rust, I just think back to one of the downloads that my ancestors gave me recently, which was to embody a snail. So they're still soft and ooey gooey on the inside, but they've got this shell for protection, and they, like the Knight of Pentacles, which is the slowest moving card in the tarot deck. Snails are very slow, obviously. But they're pretty sustainable. Anyway, back to painting. When I was painting, I don't know, it's weird. In the, like, I can go on another tangent on another day about the art education system, because I was an art ed major for 3 years before I switched majors to painting. So as kids, you know, in the art room, we're kind of conditioned to, or I don't know where it comes from, but people are, or there's like this idea where hyper photorealism is supposed to equal high quality work, which obviously it doesn't. It just means that you have really good skills. That's all that means. Okay. So when you're painting, in order to gain more control over your paint strokes, instead of, instead of holding, like when you're writing, instead of holding the pen like this, right? I tend to have a heavy hand. I actually have like this weird bump on my finger from pressing too hard on my pens, which is why I can never have mechanical pencils, because they would always break. So when you're writing and you're drawing, whatever, but when you're painting, if you think of a paintbrush, it's not like a pen or a pencil where there's a fine point, okay? There's all these little follicles with hair strands, bristles. We've got bristle brushes, which is usually harder, or synthetic, plastic, straw. And then there's soft brushes, which is usually the like watercolor ones that you're thinking about, like really soft, kind of like your hair, more similar like hair. So there's like, oh shit, wow, this idea of all these little tiny soft things moving around with this like liquid, right? The paint. So we got the paint, and then we've got, it's not this deep, but this is too much fun for me. And then we got the paintbrush, right? The paintbrush, the little paintbrush bristles are now holding the paint. And then you've got this canvas in front of you. And it's like, okay, let's say you've never painted before, and you've only ever written or drawn with a writing utensil similar to a pen or a pencil where there's a fine tip. Now you have this tool, right? And you're like, oh, fuck, there's so many points on this tip. Like, you know, the paintbrush has all these stick with me. Has all these little hair follicles. So there's this like idea of, fuck, I can't control the paint because there's too many little points, right? No. That is the conundrum. This is the paradox, guys. Power in numbers. So we've got this paintbrush, right? I don't have a paintbrush with me. Why did I look down there as if I was going to find one? So the main point, my favorite thing that I learned in painting. Obviously, when I'm painting, I want a desired outcome. There's an image or a feeling that I'm trying to convey on a 2D surface. Well, how am I going to do this? Paintbrush, paint, which is liquid. So it's like, oh fuck, we've got this liquid. That's one thing that I can't control, really. It's too liquidy. We've got a paintbrush with all these little fine hair follicle points that move around constantly. I can't control that. So how the fuck am I supposed to use this material in the way that I'm still in control of what I'm trying to communicate or convey, which is like the painting, okay? Whether or not there's like a concrete meaning or not doesn't matter. It's supposed to be an expression, right? How do I do that? So my teacher was like, well, see how you're holding your paintbrush like this? Nah, you gotta hold your paintbrush like this. Okay. And I was like, you're crazy. What do you mean? And if you think about oil paintbrushes, right? Especially the bristle brushes, they're long. They're kind of like wands, like magic wands. So there's like these little, long sticks with the brush and the paint. And I guess this also correlates to control or peace, like I was mentioning earlier. You kind of have to have a bird's eye view. If you're in front of your canvas like this for like 3 hours straight or whatever, and you're just focusing on this tiny little area, you're gonna be there forever. So my teacher was like, okay, she would like give me a amount of time that would work best for me and the time we had in class. Every so often, just step back, use your paintbrush, send your arm. Well, I guess this is for perspective because I was a landscape painter, but same thing applies. You just like extend your whatever. I guess doesn't matter. Point being, you have to stand back in order to see the whole picture constantly. You have to do that constantly because how else are you going to create this masterpiece, right? This is why I love looking at maps. So in order to have more control over your painting or what you're trying to create, loosening your grip around control actually will bring more fluidity. Ooh! I like that. Ooh. Yeah. God damn spirit. When I was in the... I'll end it with this for real this time, because if this is more than an hour, this is never gonna upload. Oh, when I was in my past life regression thing, hypnosis, it was really hard to get into the space. But once I was in the space, I was able to flow my energy better. So once I overcame all the noise, because now that I've opened the floodgates to the divine. It just never shuts up. But yeah, when I was in that hypnosis therapy session, it once I did find a way to enter the space, I was able to flow my energy and my thoughts and my feelings, and I was able to process things way more softer and more integrated. Like, I feel like whatever I was experiencing was happening innately. Like, it was as if my experience that I was feeling was like woven into me, if that makes any sense at all. So, and one of my favorite lyrics from the song called Last Hope from Paramore is in the middle of the song, and it's kind of like an ad-lib that she's riffing in the background, but the lyric goes, so if I let go of control now, I can be strong. So if I let go of control now, I can be strong. Yeah, basically she's like expressing her self-surrendering to the divine. So yeah, I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to dig an ingrown nail out of my finger for me to get that message across. But yeah, main takeaway is, in order for me to actually cultivate rest, I have to let go of control, and that requires me to trust in God. And we only win, we only ever win when we trust in God. So, alright, stay safe everybody. I'm probably gonna go to the library so that I can upload this. Because when you don't have Wi-Fi, it literally takes like 3 days to upload a video on YouTube. Okie dokie. Well, that was quite the experience. I do feel a lot better. Once I get rest under control though, I'm gonna tackle doctor's appointments so that way I can tackle my eating behaviors, and any other lingering health issues, so that way I can get started on my mission. So many delays, I swear. But yeah, I need to have rest, because I know that after this period of rest, I'm gonna be wishing that I was resting. But I'm actually really excited. I'd rather be, because I'm a workaholic, and then I'm gonna shut up. I'd rather be doing something that will benefit the planet, tire myself to the bone. I guess this is like martyrdom mentality, right? Is that what this is? I don't know. I'd rather avoid my own emotions, instead of, like, I would rather, I've been operating in a way where I'll avoid my problems by helping other people fix their problems. Alright. Enough of that. I need to get a new one of these because it tastes like shit now.